In this lecture, we are going to talk about how can we develop a real-time WhatsApp messenger in the app lab of code.org. Now here, as you can see, I have opened up the WhatsApp messenger that I have made on 3 different browsers. So this browser is going to act as first device, this browser is going to act as a second device, and this is going to act as the third device. So we have got 3 different devices right now on which we are going to test this WhatsApp messenger at the same time. Let's select a photograph first, and here I'm using Sameer's name. And this is the phone number with which I'm creating the profile. So when I will hit this confirm button, again I'm going to come on this second screen. Now let's hit this screen and see whether we'll be able to fetch Sameer's profile or not. So Sameer's profile has also got successfully created. Now if suppose Gaurav and Kiara want to talk to each other, what they guys have to do, Gaurav need to search for Kiara's profile on WhatsApp. So he need to enter her phone number here in the search bar and hit this search button. Automatically Kiara's profile is going to get reflected. See, this is happening, everything is happening real time. Okay, and Kiara need to type Gaurav's number here in the search bar, and when she will hit this search button, she will come across Gaurav's profile. Okay, now let's do one thing. Let's hit this Kiara's name here and see what is going to happen. So here Gaurav can communicate his things to Kiara, and here Kiara can communicate her things to Gaurav. Let's send this message to Gaurav. Now if Gaurav want to receive the message, he needs to hit this button and he will receive the message sent by Kiara. If Kiara wants to receive the message, she needs to hit this button and she is going to receive the message here like this. Now let's reply to this message of Gaurav. So this is how Kiara can send the message to Gaurav, and Gaurav can receive the message here in the text window like this. Fine. Now if suppose Gaurav want to talk to Sameer at the same time, how can he do that? Again, he need to search for Sameer's profile first, and when he will hit this search bar, he will come across Sameer's profile. Now let's talk to Sameer. So let's send a message to Sameer. So Sameer, in order to receive the message, he need to search for Gaurav's profile first. When he will click on this Gaurav's name and come on this receive button, he will be able to see the message Gaurav has sent to him. Okay, let's reply to this message now. So this is how Sameer can reply to Gaurav's message and Gaurav can receive his message like this. Fine. Now if suppose Kiara want to talk to Samir, how can she do that? Let's check whether Kiara can send a message to Samir or not. So, this is Samir's panel. You need to come back and search for Kiara's profile first. When he will hit this search tab automatically, this is not Kiara's profile. He need to hit this search tab and automatically he'll come across Kiara's profile. Now he need to hit this Kiara's name and he will receive the message sent by Kiara like this. This is the answer to the questions that most of the students have asked me, that whether can we develop is it possible for us to develop a real-time app in App Lab or not? So the answer to this question is yes. Yes, we can develop a real-time application in the App Lab. Now let's come on the code.org platform and check out the code which I have defined on that platform in App Lab so as to develop this real-time mobile app. Okay, so this is the first screen that you're seeing right now. Here there are three things. This is the photo select. This is a photo select component. This is a text component, and this is again a text area, or you can make use of an input button also in order to take the name and phone number and photograph of the user as input. Now when the user will hit this confirm button, this is a code for confirm button. Let me just show you the whole code. Let me enlarge the size of the screen so that everything can be visible to you guys in a more clear way. So what is happening when the user will hit this confirm button? Automatically a table is going to get created on the data browser connected to the app. Okay, now the name of the user is going to get stored in the field name. The phone of the user is going to get stored in the field phone, and the photo of the user is going to get stored in this photo column. Okay, so there are three different columns in which I have stored all the three informations that I'm getting from these three things over here. Fine. Now as soon as the person will hit this confirm button, this is going to happen. This table is going to get created. Besides, the user is going to get redirected on this screen 3. That's what I have defined here. Fine. Now let's come on the code of screen 3. When the user will hit this screen 3, what is going to happen? He is going to get redirected on screen 2. Now here I would like to see the user's profile here right on the top. Okay, so this is the image button where I would like to see the image of the user. This is where I would like to see the name of the user, and this is where I would like to see the phone number of the user. So as you can see, I have got different names for different components here. Now in order to fetch the information from the users table that I've created here, when the user will hit this confirm button, this users table is going to get created on the data browser. Now we need to read the information from the users table, right? So for doing that, we can make use of read records option, read records block. Now we need to make sure that we are trying to read the records for the phone number that the user has entered here. on the first screen here in this component, the ID of which is phone. So we need to define a condition also here, that we so that we can read the information for this user, okay, whose phone number matches with the phone number which he has entered here in this component with name ID. So this is how we can do it. Now after doing that, we would like to fetch the information for these three fields: this photo field, this name field, and this phone number field. So this is the code for doing the same. Okay, in the previous lectures, in the couple of lectures, I have already discussed about these three things, so I don't think that I am required to tell you about these things anymore. So this is the code that which we can use for fetching the records for all these three things from this table users. Now comes the code for the search button. Where is that? Yeah, this is the one. So there is a search button that I've defined over here. Here the user can enter the phone number of the person he is looking for on WhatsApp. So when he will, after entering the phone number, when he will hit the search button, the compiler of this mobile simulator, or you can say the compiler is going to look for this phone number through this code that I have defined. This is the condition I've defined over here. So on the basis of this condition, the compiler is going to search for this phone number on the data browser of the app in this users table. Once he will get the data, he is going to set the image URL of this image button, okay, and he is going to fetch the information of the name field and for the phone number also. So this is the code that I have defined over here for fetching the information for all these three fields. Okay, now let's come on what is going to happen when the user will hit this name to button. Now when the user will hit this name to button, he is going to get redirected on this screen 4. Now screen 4 looks somewhat like this. Fine. Here he is going to see the image of the recipient, the person whom he wants to talk to, whom he wants to send the messages to. So he would be seeing, the user would be seeing the image of that person here. Okay, so this is the code that I have used for doing the same. Here he would be seeing the name of the recipient. So this is the code that I have used for doing the same. And here he is going to see the phone number of the recipient. And this is the code that I have used for doing the same. Now let's come on what is going to happen when he will hit this send button after typing the message here in this text input, in this text area, or you can say in this input button component. So when the user will hit this send button, automatically a table is going to get created with with the phone number of the phone user. So the phone number which is getting reflected here of the user, with that phone number a table is going to get created in which there will be three informations: the sender information, the person who is sending the message, his phone number will be there, the person who has received the message or to whom the message has been sent. So the information of that person will be there, the phone number of that person will be there, the phone number of the recipient. Besides, the message part will also be there in that table. Let me just show you how the table is going to look like. So this is, suppose this 9891665634 has sent some message to 8209060533. So this is how the information is going to get stored in the table, okay, that will get created automatically when the user will hit the send button. Fine, and this is a message. Now let's come on the other parts. So after this, once the user is done with sending the information, once the table will get created successfully, whatever there is in this, whatever is getting reflected here in the search, in the what we call text area, so it is going to get removed. Okay, it will become disappear. This is the code that I have used for doing the same. It will go disappear. Besides everything, whatever is getting reflected in this message area, it is also going to get disappear. Fine, this is a code that you can make use of for doing the same. Now let's come on how that person, okay, a person who is working on the second device to whom a message has been sent, how is he going to receive the message? So there is a button over here which I have defined. The idea of this is receive. So in order to receive the message, the receiver has to tap on this button first. So when he will hit this button, what is going to happen? We would like to read the records from this table, phone receiver. The person who was earlier the sender now will become phone receiver. Why? Just because of this screen. Okay, the recipient's profile, on the second device, the recipient's profile is going to get reflected here, and the receiver's profile is going to get reflected. The receiver's profile is going to get reflected here on the second device, and the sender's profile is going to get reflected here. So the sender has now become a receiver, and the receiver has now become a sender. That is the reason we need to, this is a trick that we need to use in order to receive the message. So we need to get the message from phone receiver ID. Okay, where is that ID? This is the one. Whatever name is getting reflected, whatever phone number is getting reflected here on the receiver's phone, on the receiver's device, we want to fetch the data from that table. So this is the code we can use for it, and here we need to define a condition also that the receiver should be this person. Fine. Now we have defined one more condition here. It is similar to this one only. If get text phone receiver, if this is equal to the sender, fine, then only we would like to see the message. Otherwise we don't want any messages to get reflected over here. That is the reason, why when this person was sending the message to this second person, when this person was sending the message to this person, the messages were not getting reflected here on this person's screen, just because of this condition that we have defined over here. Once the message gets successfully received, we would like everything, whatever there is getting reflected here in this text area, we would like it to get disappear. So this is a code we can use for doing the same. Okay, and we have defined a code for going back on this screen too. Now the code for that is on event back click. This is the code, and we have defined a back button over here. So when the user will click on this back button, he is going to get redirected on this screen too. And besides everything, whatever the things were getting reflected here in the message area, they are also going to go disappear. Fine. So this is the whole code. Let me just show you the whole code once again, so that you can also develop this complete thing on your own. Okay, and this is the answer to the questions most of the students are asking me, that whether it is possible for us to develop a real-time app or not. Yes, it is possible for us to develop a real-time app in App Lab. Okay, the only thing which is required is your hard work, the tricks that you use, the way you are coding, the hard work you are putting in. Please do like and subscribe to my channel.